When players hear the phrase standard banner, it can be enough for many to trigger war flashbacks. Memories of useless character dupes or awful equipment pulls are the first things that come to mind when veterans of the Hoyoverse cast of gacha games think of the word standard. With countless opportunities to pull absolute garbage after spending months of in-game time to build up enough pity on their standard pulls, this banner across the industry's biggest games is something that can quickly lose its appeal. Even if there are chances to strike gold, those odds are oftentimes very slim, and it's a lot easier to face disappointment instead of joy. When it comes to Wuthering Waves, on the other hand, your experience with the standard banner should be nothing short of amazing. Today we'll be discussing why this is the case, breaking down what makes the standard banner so appealing in Wuthering Waves, and why it's so fantastic compared to its peers. We'll also be breaking down how players can take advantage of its unique mechanics to maximize their progression. At a baseline, the design of WuWa's standard banner absolutely clears its competition. This is because its standard banner is split into two components, the character banner and the weapon banner. What this means is that a player can guarantee what type of 5-star they receive. If you're a player looking to build up your roster of characters, you have a direct line to the standard 5-stars. In gacha games, characters are a huge part of the content. With unique playstyles and varied movesets, pulling a character can breathe new life into how you approach the game. In the situation where you're an early game player who has few characters, expanding your roster is one of the key factors that keeps you playing. With more characters, there's more opportunities to grind for upgrade materials, to level them, or equipment to gear them, constantly giving players new goals to achieve. If you have nothing to work for, there's not a lot of reasons to keep playing. On the other hand, in similar gacha games, their standard banner is completely aggregated with both characters and equipment. In this kind of gacha system, you can definitely win as a player, but it's much more likely for you to lose. You could be early on in your playthrough looking for characters or dupes, and you'll get spooked by a weapon. This weapon could also be something that you have no intention of ever using, or it's just a terrible weapon that isn't worth upgrading at all. You could also be someone with more playtime looking to gear your characters with a new weapon, but instead you get a dupe of Chi-Chi. There are simply far too many ways to experience frustration, and when your goals for your account and your progression shift as you accumulate more and more hours, your experience pulling on the standard banner in these games generally only gets worse and worse. Your list of great outcomes only gets smaller and smaller. Wuthering Waves lets you decide how you want to progress your account. If your goals shift throughout your playthrough, like wanting more weapons instead of characters, all you have to do is pull on a different banner. When it comes to that different banner, there's another incredible benefit that Wuthering Waves provides. You can select which specific 5-star weapon to roll for, and it's completely guaranteed. With these weapons having the highest base attack and secondary stats in the game, they are an incredible avenue for a player to upgrade their characters vertically and begin challenging endgame content. Kuro even rewarded players with a 5-star standard weapon selector once they hit UL 45, dramatically streamlining this entire process and gave players even more options with what to do with their standard pulls. With absolutely fantastic weapons like Emerald of Genesis and Static Mist, which are believed to have a very long shelf life given their critical rate stats, as potential targets on this banner, players have a direct access to some of the most powerful weapons in the game. In a genre like Gacha, where your progression can be gated by time, equipment, and RNG, having this kind of reliability is a massive benefit to players. When this weapon guarantee extends to the limited ones as well, you can't think of a system like this as anything but player-friendly. Unfortunately, even if the weapon banners are guaranteed, the character banners are not. With a completely random 5-star from the standard banner and the chance to lose 50/50s to a standard character on the limited banner, you don't have as much leeway when it comes to your roster. Kuro has to make money somehow. What this means is that oftentimes your standard banner pulls might be better spent entirely on the standard weapon banner. You're going to be pulling copies of standard characters anyways from your lost 50/50s, and these weapons are some of the greatest ways to vertically invest in your account. You can either pull a wider variety variety of standard weapons, or pull additional copies of the best weapons like Static Mist or Emerald of Genesis to syntonize them and increase their passive effects. When you're able to share weapons across the endgame tower mode, there's not too many reasons to hold additional copies. Having this option is incredible. You can always upgrade your account from standard pulls, and you can intentionally choose where those upgrades go. In the situation where you don't pull on the weapon banner frequently and instead dedicate your pulls to the character banner, you still have a lot of opportunities to progress. Many standard 5-star characters have absolutely fantastic returns on additional copies, with DPS characters gaining new sub-DPS potential, and support characters receiving great buffs to their rotation timing. However, when it comes to a banner and when it comes to gacha, there's little benefit to a banner if you don't have the currency to pull on it, and the standard banner pull income was definitely a critique for the game in version 1.0. As of version 1.1 and the wide variety of events that we've had, I can safely say that this is not the case. With patch 1.1's length at around 6.5 weeks, we received a total of 20 standard pulls from events, 10 from the Gift of Gratitude special event, 5 from the Gift of Celestial Light login event, and 5 from the Lolo event. With 5 baseline pulls from the Battle Pass, this brings our total up to 25 standard pulls in a single patch. The hard pity for the weapon banner is 80, and the soft pity starts at 65. Kuro gave us literally more than 1/3 of the weapon banner soft pity in a single patch. When we compare this to other games in the genre, where you average 1 standard pull a week with 5 available from their battle pass across the version, we can see that this is quite a bit more. However, the massive amount of standard pulls from events in Wuthering Waves unfortunately barely makes up for the lack of standard pulls from Character Ascension. Other games in the genre offer this fantastic reward for individual character leveling, but for all we know, Kuro could be saving this for a future version to drive player engagement. Overall, the standard banner in Wuthering Waves is absolutely amazing. Simply put, it is without a doubt the most player-friendly integration of a standard banner that I've ever seen. You decide what you're pulling, and in cases like the weapon banner, there's no surprise at all. Kuro has also done a fantastic job in making the standard character dupes actually useful. These additional copies can open up completely new playstyles as you progress through your playthrough, and it's in a lot of ways similar to getting a whole new character. Hopefully, this overview was helpful in highlighting the nuances of Wuthering Waves' standard banner, and how you might plan your progression with your playthrough. As always, if you've enjoyed this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Peace out.